we like to call it the Supernatural Hour. And now, our hosts.
Hey, welcome to the Supernatural Hour. This is your tired host, Raven.
This is Chad.
This is Jess.
This is Emmitt.
So our junk drawer is actually a personal experience that Chad and I had in California this weekend. Another trip before heat exhaustion kicked in. But we went and saw the Winchester Mystery House.
Wow.
We did. I knew this competition was coming up in Pleasanton. I was like, hey, that's not very far from San Jose.
Do you know the way to San Jose?
I do now. I've never been to Northern California. I could live there. Southern California?
Not so much.
That'd be a hard sell. If you listen to this and you live in Southern California, please keep listening to us. No, it is beautiful down there, but I don't know. Southern California to me just gives me a real big city vibe, and where we were in the San Jose area was more small town, and I'm from a small town, so it just spoke to me more. So I wasn't being like rude. It just kind of funged with my shui a little better than Southern California does. Anyway, I digress. So we went to the Mystery House, and it was awesome. I'm glad I went. Got to tell you two things first. We went with some friends of ours. We got there early because we just kind of came straight from the airport. Went to drop our luggage off at the hotel. They didn't have our rooms ready, so we're like, okay, whatever. We'll just go to the Mystery House. We have stuff to do. So we get there, and I thought it was going to be like out in the country. It is right downtown. It is right downtown.
It might have been out in the country when it was built.
Yeah. No, it was like, what did they say? Like on 140 acres or something?
Like 161 acres.
Wow.
Yeah.
The city grew up around it.
Yeah, but it is a beautiful home. And we have another podcast where we talk just about the Winchester Mystery House. You can go back and listen to that. And we also kind of reviewed the movie that came out, which I thought was pretty good. So
that's cool that you made it.
We did, and it was on my bucket list. Chad has been there before many years ago, but not when he was of a paranormal mindset, so it was kind of fun to go back.
And in addition, they have really made a lot of improvements since the mid-1990s on that, with updates, getting more furniture in some of the rooms that they didn't have furniture in. All of the original furniture was shipped out, and they said it looked like, 60 days?
Yeah, they said they sold off all the furniture. They said they did 8 cartloads a day of furniture, and it took them like 6 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, just crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, because all the rooms were furnished at the time, but they have since refurnished many of the rooms with historical period furniture.
That's good.
It wasn't the furniture that was there originally, but all of the stained glass is original. All of the light fixtures and
they said anything that was built in was original.
Yeah,
is what our guide said, and our guide was fabulous. I wish I rememred his name.
What did you feel while you were in there?
Victor was his name. So the seance room I did not like. My heart just started beating. I got really nervous and shaky, and I did not like that room. I was very glad to get out. And when Victor said, hey, who would like to open the secret door out? I'm like, me. So I opened up the door.
So there's one door in and 3 doors out?
Yeah, because they don't have like doorknobs on the other side of them.
Yeah, when you come into the room, you can't get out from that doorknob.
Anyway, so then...
well, wait a minute.
Sorry, I'm getting ahead. Sorry.
What happens with the doors? There's 3 ways out. You remember the one? You open it up, and there's an 8-foot drop down to the sink in the kitchen below you.
Yeah, so if you use that door, you got to be an acrobat or, break your legs, one of the two.
And then there was the secret door that you went through.
Yeah, and then he's like, who wants to go through first? I was like, me, thank you very much. I don't like this room. I'm out.
I don't remember what the other door was, but it was kind of a creepy door, too.
Yeah. So here's just kind of my thoughts on the Winchester Mystery House. I'm glad I went. It was fantastic. It was a beautiful home. I wish they put craftsmanship into homes like that now. I mean, the woodwork was beautiful. The flooring was beautiful. I do realize that she had $1 gazillion, especially for that. She had $20 million in 1886. I mean, that's just gobs of money. So, I get that, but just the craftsmanship was amazing. I thought it was going to be weirder than it was. I was expecting more weird. There's a lot of weird things, but I don't know. I was expecting more weird things. But there was plenty of weird things. The stairs that go nowhere.
The mini steps.
The mini steps, because she was like 4'11" and had arthritis when she was older, so they had these little tiny risers on their stairs. There was a couple rooms. The family that we went with is actually quite sensitive, and when we were in the gift shop, I got off my gift shop story. When we went in the gift shop, the daughter said, when we came out of the gift shop, she said, I asked my mom, what she said to me. And she said, I turned and my mom wasn't there. She felt like her mom was standing there, said her name. And when she turned, she wasn't there.
Wow.
So that we did that. And then occasionally she'd go, Raven, come here. I'd go over and she's like, what do you feel here? And I was like, ooh. And we would feel the same thing in the same place. I'd say, I feel it there. She was like, that's where I felt it. Or I would say, hey, come here. So we were kind of feeling the same things. There was one area, it wasn't really a room. It was more like a little closet. My friend's daughter was like, hey, come here. Well, she's my friend too. Come here. And so I went over and she's like, do you feel that? I'm like, ooh, yeah, that was really heavy. And then I kind of looked at where it was, and it was male and, kind of alpha male. And as I walked past, it punched me right in the chest.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, rude. I'm definitely haunted. Definitely a lot of spirits there. Oh, I went to the gift shop and I bought this pair of sweats and a t-shirt, because I do that. And I wore the sweats to bed. And you know that fabric that's like white? I call it salt and pepper fabric. It's white. It's got the black speckles on it.
Yes, I know that fabric.
I'm sure there's a name for it. I can't think about it. Think of what it is. I may never have known what it is. But when I woke up in
Is
the
it
morning,
heather?
I don't know. It's like white with dark black speckles on it. Anyway, that's what my sheet looked like when I woke up, because little fuzz balls came off my pants everywhere. And then they were on my kilt, because then I sat on the bed with my kilt. There are little black fuzzies everywhere. I need to wash these and hopefully they'll go away. But I really liked it. I had a good experience there.
Well, excellent.
Chad.
Yeah, it was a great experience. The gardens were lovely and impressive, well manicured. The outbuildings, there was lots of history there. One of the things about her was she was very generous to her workers. As long as you didn't question her on what she wanted and what to do, often paying 2 to 3 times the amount that anybody else in the area was getting, setting some of her workers up with homes. As she bought more and more of the properties in the area, as these farm were being bought by her, the farmhouses, she would set her workers up in the farmhouses of these new properties that they expanded, because she was also growing orchards and vineyards and those kinds of things and on the property. 160 acres, that's a lot of land. So it was a great experience.
That's fun. That's fun. If I ever get out there, I'll be sure to take a tour with heat stroke.
So no, for real though, it's a real thing. So I was
Raven really has it.
I think I'm mostly over it. I was in Pleasanton, California for a bagpipe competition. It was 106 degrees there and humid, which I don't do humid. I live in a desert. Anyway, 8 yards of wool, long sleeve shirt, tie, vest, long wool socks up to my knees.
Hat.
The whole outfit is wool, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Just, to make you suffer.
So all day Saturday I was fine. All day Sunday I was fine. Just had one thing left, and it's not a big deal. I mean, it's mass bands. It's a big deal, but it's not like the band suffered because I wasn't there. But I was like, I got nauseous. I got a headache. I got, there was another nauseous headache. Fever. Kind of
loss of words, maybe.
Well, that's a daily thing. So, whatever. Anyway, I'm like, I've got to go back to the hotel. So I went back to the hotel. Everyone went back and cleaned up and finished and went to dinner. And anyway, don't expect great things from me today at all.
Okay.
That's kind of a daily thing, but especially today.
Emmitt's segment.
But this summer I've had a lot of time to review evidence while I've been dealing with some medical issues. And one thing I noticed especially was reviewing EVPs, audio recordings. And I just want to emphasize, and it's hard for us. We try to be quiet when we're recording, but sometimes we cough or sneeze, or we really shouldn't whisper when somebody's doing EVP recordings. Go ahead and talk loud, or mark say something if you make a noise. just let them know, because it's so hard sometimes to go through some of these subtle little whisperings and noises, and it just make it so much easier. And I forget it myself. I'm guilty of it myself. So just kind of a gentle reminder on the audio and video recordings to mark that and just say something audible and loud and clear so people know that it isn't paranormal evidence trying to break through.
But it's so embarrassing.
Well, it is, and that was me farting. Sorry.
Yeah, just
but,
own it.
it happens.
We all
It
do it.
happens.
Yep.
But that's all I wanted to say this week.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
I just, it's been on my mind a lot. But before the junk drawer, I want to remind you all about Supernatural Hour swag at advancedparanormal.com. I was just thinking today, I've got to pick up a few more items for the cleansing kit. And this is the place to go for stuff like that, whatever your needs.
Absolutely. We've got some good stuff, too.
So, Jess, do you have a stone for us?
Yeah, before we started, I was like, okay, what do I need to know? And I pulled the amulet stones, and it's also known as a thunder egg. It looks kind of cool. It's kind of multicolored. Almost looks like it's probably not connected at all whatsoever with the name, but those sentry eggs, when you like crack open those old
geodes.
Mud eggs. Well, like kind of looks like a geode a bit, yeah. And it says it's connected to protection, guidance, travel, and integration. It says travel plans will soon be on the horizon. An unexpected opportunity will arise, which will see you preparing to travel to a faraway place. The amulet stone offers you protection and guidance while you travel. And it says, allow yourself to keep an open heart and mind. I mean, I am traveling later this month. You just traveled, so I'm going to a football game a few hours away, but so maybe we need to hear about traveling.
That sounds like it's topical. All right.
Cool.
So the stone was brought to you by the Hub Theater. That's, again, where we're going to be having our Dead Talk presentation, the Town Hub Theater in American Fork. So they've got lots of other programs there. So go out and check out their programs.
Absolutely.
Well, let's move on to the business then. So this is a busy time of year for us. We've got a lot of things going. So coming up, Saturday, September 16th at 7 p.m. at the Town Hub Theater in American Fork, we're doing our Dead Talk presentation, and then there's an investigation after that. If you just want to come to the presentation, the tickets are $10, and the presentation and investigation are $35. And the investigation is limited to like 30 tickets or 25 tickets. If you want to get involved with the investigation, you might want to jump on that. Next, coming up, another one of our big October event is going to be the Emmitt Cemetery in Ogden. We're going to be there on Saturday, October 22nd at 8 p.m. till midnight. We did this investigation a couple of years ago, and it was really fun. It was a highlight investigation, so we're really looking forward to going back to the Emmitt Cemetery. We also have a number of library presentations that are free. You'll need to check with the various libraries. But on October 13th, we have the Central Park Community Center in Salt Lake. 7 o'clock, October 14th, the Chapman Library in Salt Lake. On October 21st, the American Fork Library. And on October 26th, we have the Springville Library.
And those are fun. Those are some of my favorite ones. I mean, everything we do is fun. You know, if we're in someone's home, there might be a little stress trying to make sure we're getting everything covered. And not stress, but, you've got some concern because you want to do a good job and we want to be professional and address all the problems. But, there's just that, are we getting everything? On a public investigation, we want to make sure everyone's having a good time, and we're hoping that everyone's having some sort of paranormal experience.
These are fun and informative, and these venues, most of them are pretty active.
Well, and the thing with the library presentations is they all contacted us. We did not go to them. Every single one of them has said, will you come and do this? Our library is haunted, and we've investigated all of these except one. One is new, and
I think the Central Park
the Central
Community
Park
Center
Community
is new for us this year.
But the other three, we've been there, we've investigated, they're haunted. One's on the side of the old jail. One is just a very, very old building in an old part of town. One has, a bunch of old pioneer log cabins sitting out in the
Right next to it.
right next to it. And it's in an old part of town with a lot of Native American activity, or history anyway. So these are fun. If you've never been to one of these, you need to come to one of these.
I have been, and I can't wait.
I mean, if you're a hardcore ghost investigator, I don't know, you might get a little bored, but I don't think so.
But they're fun.
We'll be there. We're fun.
Very.
And we have the Indian Hills Horror. It's a public haunt at a private residence. Klaus, who's sometimes on the podcasts and helps us with the sound. Every year he does the Indian Hills Horror. This is like the 17th year that they have put on that haunted house. I think last year they had about 1,800 people go through in 3 nights. They're going to be doing it on Friday, October 28th, Saturday, October 29th, and Monday, Halloween, October 31st. So we're looking forward to that. The hours vary a little bit with the weekends and the Monday night. So you can check the advanceparanormal.com/haunt, or we'll also have it on our events page. So you can go out there and get the address and the information and the time. So it's free. It's a lot of fun. It's a really, really good haunt, and bring your family. It's kid friendly-ish. They try not to scare the little kids hard, but they like to scare the teenagers hard. So it's really a fun haunt. So the business has been brought to you by Castle Photo Art. So go to Castle for your photo needs. He's been a big supporter of the program and was one of the original founders of the Advanced Paranormal and Supernatural Hour.
Yep. So it's going to be a very busy couple months for us. I'm kind of excited.
It's a busy season.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I've been a scare actor before and done tours through haunted houses. I love that stuff.
So we have not had any residential investigations since our last podcast. I think we're all up to date on that. So hopefully we'll have one for you the next time we podcast. So stay spooky, my haunty friends.
Hey, have a great night.
Bye.
See you next time.
You've been listening to the Supernatural Hour at AdvancedParanormal.com. The Supernatural Hour is part of the Radio Ronin network found at RadioRonin.com. Copyright by Advanced Paranormal Services.